One word. One play. This that. Back on the back of the right, back of the left, back of the back. Black shit. I'm a beast in my habitat. This that. Back on the back of the right, back of the left, back of the back. Black shit. I'm a beast in my habitat. Whoa. I'm a beast in my habitat. I'm a beast in my habitat. I'm a beast in my habitat. Shit, I'm a beast in my habitat. I'm a beast in my habitat. Shit, I'm a beast in my habitat. I'm a beast in my habitat. Better than I dream. Ballin' NBA. Scoring NFL. Wow. Foreign like a raid. Biggie so happy. Wow. Big it out my way. I might put you on my payroll. Put you on my page. I might take a fit. Shopping with your money. Then go hit it. Hit her at your crib. Then come make you get it. Then I hit your sister. Answer me like sisters. Listen up, those pictures got her naked and they lick her. Wow. I'm poppin', she know that I do it. I know I'm the realest.
Welcome, everybody, to another week of Thunderdome Fantasy Weekly Report. Sorry, I got a little jelly bean in me about choke shit. Let me get that out. All right, we go ahead and get that next co-host on, co-commissioner, Mr. John Creel.
What's up, everybody?
And we'll get the next co-host, Miss Pam Creel, back for another week after her week of absence last week.
Well, I had to rest a little.
Apparently, your computer needed it too.
Right?
I'm having computer issues tonight, guys. Sorry.
Big week last week. Couple tough losses for some teams that I will say didn't knock them completely out, but damn sure did hurt their chances this week. Talking about the Kush Crushers and the Orange Crush. But if a miracle happens, they still have a slight chance. It's very slight, but
it's gonna take a little work.
It's gonna take a lot of work. It really, it's gonna take some flops from two teams, for two or three teams.
Complete shutdown.
Which I mean, we've seen some crazy games this week. I mean, one of the teams we're talking about are Lindsay, him, and Ben. So I mean, it would take literally some complete shutdowns by their team for.
And you know what's so weird about it? Two of the teams fighting for the last two spots, or theoretically the last two spots.
Yeah.
Happen to be the same two teams that played in the bowl
championship,
in
the Thunder Bowl. Yeah, definitely interesting.
How this year has turned out, we are scraping to get in.
I'm just happy I finally made it.
And you don't have to worry about this week either. You know,
right. Looks like you made it.
You wanna win this week. No doubt about that. But
I have to win this week.
You do have to win this week first. It would definitely help.
Somebody wants
for
to
other teams. It would definitely help other teams. If Ben lost to you and John won his game against Bucks Life, then John would automatically jump Ben just because of points.
Yeah.
But I mean, it's like 40 points, I think. 40. 40, a little bit over 40. It's real close.
I mean, anything could happen. So
exactly. I mean, we've seen John put up, 190 points in a week, and we've seen him put up 248 in a week. So it depends on what happens with the.
I'm hoping this is the good swing. The good turnabout, which reminds me, I better go on here and make sure my team's straight for tonight. Who's playing again tonight?
The Raiders and the Rams.
Raiders and Rams. Who do I got? Anybody?
I just got home. I haven't had that.
I'm playing Legend Killers. So it's the number 1 versus the number 2. It's the number 3 versus the number 5. Or sorry, the number 3 versus the number 6. The number 4 versus the number 5. The number 7 versus the number 8. The number 9 versus the number 11, and the number 10 versus the number 12. So it's all like nitty gritty games for everyone. Jeff barely lost to me this week.
Yes.
And when I mean got a
barely,
tough matchup.
That could be the absolute closest game that has ever been played.
I mean, 2-7. It ended up being a 0.12 difference. So I think it's not the lowest. I think Pam and somebody else still have that. I think Pam.
Well, that may be. I know at the beginning of the week it was 0.02.
Yeah, it was 0.02 whenever we took the photo. When I think Ben took the photo and put it on.
Yeah.
Or whoever took it. Might have been me that took the photo and put it on there.
Yeah.
But it was 0.02 when that photo was put in the chat, and then I somehow got 0.10 added to it somewhere. But I was glad that it was added to me and not taken from me. All right, we'll get into the first game of the week, which was the Legend Killers versus the Kush Crushers. Legend Killers pulled out the victory 239.50 to 217.82. This was a 21.68 point win margin.
All right. So the leading scorers on offense for the Kush Crushers. Michael Gallup had 18.30 points.
Which, what the fuck, where did he come from?
Yeah, right. Dalvin Cook had 16.30. And Kirk Cousins had 13.82. On the defensive side for Kush Crushers, Harrison Smith had 16.80 points. Donovan Wilson had 16.50 points. And Tariq Woolen had 15.50 points. For the Legend Killers, Tariq Hill had 30.60. Justin Herbert had 20.10. And Saquon Barkley had 19.10. On the defensive side, Nick Bosa had 25 points. Demario Davis had 12.90. And Eric Hendricks had 11.50 points.
Player of the game,
Nick
Bosa. Nearly doubled his projection of 13.43.
Very much so.
Huge win for Legend Killers again. The dude's only lost one game the whole damn year, and I think that was to Jeff. Or was it to Ben? Who was it to? I can't even remember who the hell beat him.
I believe it was Ben. I believe it was.
It was Ben, yep. Anyway, Miller would have beat me or Jeff this week, but barely. It would have been another close game, but he would have beat Jeff by 0.20, and he would have beat me by like 0.8, I think. So it was 0.08, sorry.
It would have been down to it.
Either way, he would have beat us. Speaking of that game, we'll get into the next game, which was the number 2 Dragons facing the number 8 Orange Crush. Dragons were able to pull out the victory 217.74 to 217.62.
Yeah, leading scorers in the game for Orange Crush.
Point differential was a 0.012 win margin for Dragons.
Oh, okay.
Whoop whoop.
0.012. That's right.
No, sorry. 0.12. I read that wrong.
My camera's messed up again. Sorry, guys.
All right.
Is that the football game in the background?
It can be.
Hey, Canada. Yeah, go ahead.
The
elusive hand back there.
Yeah.
Why'd you turn the game off?
I didn't try to turn the damn game off. I hit the wrong button.
He's trying to turn it on. That was a
So
screen
the
picture.
leading offensive scorers for Orange Crush, Patrick Mahomes had 81.82. Excuse me. Alec Pierce had 18.60 points, and Devin Duvernay had 16.80. For the defense, the 49er defense had 22. Dre Greenlaw had 18.80 points, and Jonathan Allen had 18.50 points. For the Dragons, Amon-Ra St. Brown had 34.60 points. Joe Burrow had 34.04 points. And Christian Watson had 24.40 points. For the defense, Boy Oliukin had 13 points. Marlon Humphrey had 10 points. And Minnesota's defense had 8 points. And yes.
Well, player of the game could have been Amon-Ra St. Brown, who put up 34.60, well over his projection of 17.81.
Could have been Christian.
It could have been Christian Watson, who put up 24.40, which was well over his projection of 12.22. I gave player of the game to Mr. Matthew Wright, kicker out of Pittsburgh, who put up 18.30 points, who slaughtered his projection of 6.76 points.
Well,
go Matt Wright.
So good job.
Go Matt Wright. Go Matt. Way to win me a game.
Right.
That's why we like kickers in fantasy, because they can do shit like that. 60 points.
Kickers
or 30, sorry.
Man.
They deserve love too. If they had punters in this damn shit with punting stats, I would have that shit in our fantasy.
Hey, kickers
inside the 20, 1 point. Inside the 10, 2 points. Inside the 5, 3 points.
Hey, their yardage gets counted too for how much punt.
Exactly, man. Yardage for the punt.
25 for every 25 yards, they get 1 point.
Hell yeah.
And actually, if you want to discount them so that they're not scoring points so much like a quarterback, you could even say for every 50 yards.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? That way it's not
anything
looks like a quarterback.
Anything under a 50-yard punt, 1 point. Anything over a 50-yard punt, 2 points. Just make it simple shit.
Yeah, I mean, there's so many different ways you can go about it.
Because some people be shanking the shit out of the punt.
On purpose.
Yeah. I'm gonna quit eating my damn jelly beans.
Please, I'd hate for you to choke and die in the middle of the show.
Don't make me laugh. I might choke. Anyway, we'll get into the next game, which was the number 3 Bucks Life versus the number 10 Thad Castles team. Featuring 208.64 to 202.94. Well, as you can tell, the last game between me and Jeff was the lowest scoring margin of the week. Here's the second lowest scoring margin of the week, which was a 5.70 point victory for Bucks Life in this. I'll let John go through the stats, but I got an interesting stat for you guys after he finishes.
Ooh. All right, everybody on the edge of your seats. The leading offensive scorers for Thad Castle's team, Isaiah Pacheco had 28 20.80 points. A.J. Dillon had 20.90 points. And Joshua Palmer had 13 points. For the defensive side, Justin Simmons had 26.30 points. Minka Fitzpatrick had 17.60 points. And Julian Love had 14.50 points. For the Bucs side, Devontae Adams had 37.70 points. CeeDee Lamb had 20.40 points. And Rachaad White had 17.40 points. On the defensive side, Levante David had 21 points. Denver's defense had 16 points. And Roquan Smith had 14.50 points.
Player of the game, Levante David. 21 points, which was well over his projection of 9.89 points. First fact, 2 rookie running backs in this game put up top scores for their teams. And another thing is 2 quarterbacks between the 2 of them didn't even put up 7 points. They put up 6.68 points between 2 starting quarterbacks this week. Deshaun Watson put up 5.34, and Lamar Jackson put up 1.34.
Yep.
So,
and he left with an injury for his.
He did. He would have finished, but yeah, that's just. Nuts.
So did you hear about at the Browns game for Deshaun Watson's first game? There was a Browns fan that had on the back of his shirt, it said, "Bitch, I need a massage." Yeah, like that was.
That's fucked up.
Yeah, that is really messed up.
Yeah, that's fucked. Here I am grabbing more jelly beans. Sorry, I'm addicted, guys. I'm good. I'm good. I'm sorry.
You have a problem, sir, and you need to address that. What did you have for dinner? Jelly beans.
Jelly beans.
How much do you weigh, sir?
About 198.
Right,
all in the stomach.
Talk to you about that anymore.
All in the stomach. Like nowhere else.
Just a stomach full of jelly beans.
We'll get into that next game, which was the number 4 Angels facing the number 12 Crimson Elephants. Angels pull out the victory 200.40 to 156.74. Do you have the point differentials wrote down?
Nope.
Okay.
No, we haven't.
Because I started feeling bad after I started doing this, and then you ain't said nothing, so I just kept on going. Now I'm like halfway through. I'm like, does she have them? Or
no.
just...
Right.
It has been a busy week, man. That's why I asked if you have.
Yeah, I got them. The win differential in this one was the second highest of the week at a 43.66 point win margin for the Angels.
Oh, yeah, that would be my turn.
He's still eating jelly beans. Be careful.
All right, here we go. The leading scorers for the Crimson Elephants on offense, Christian McCaffrey had 28.60 points. Tony Pollard had 24.60 points. And Keenan Allen had 20.80 points. Hey, somebody had finally put out an APB on Keenan Allen, and there he is. On the defense, Zaire Franklin had 12 points. Alex Anzalone had 10 points. And Deron Harmon had 9 points. For the Angels, Jalen Hurts. Now keep that name on the tip of your tongue. Jalen Hurts had 40.40 points. Ezekiel Elliott had 18.10 points. Nico Collins had 12.50 points. For the defense, Eagles defense had 15 points. Nick Bolton had 12 points. And Patrick Queen had 11 points. Player of the game. Oh my God, my guy's dying over here.
Really, John?
I cannot give you the Heimlich maneuver, dude. You're way too far away.
I'll call Carrie if I have to.
This would be the most famous show in history right here. This is, oh, man, did you guys see that Thunderdome show whenever the host died? This shit was crazy.
Hey, are they home if I need to call them to give you the Heimlich? Okay, thank you. Okay, breathe.
That shit got real. I was like, holy cow.
Is he okay?
Wait, is he dying or what? You got half the audience going, die. The other half going, oh,
somebody save him.
Y'all are bad.
Oh my god.
No more jelly beans.
I put him away.
Curse of the jelly bean.
Just tell the player of the game, non.
Okay.
Oh, sorry. Player of the game was Jalen Hurts, 40.40, well over the projection of 27.11.
Why later? So, anyway.
That was a very good pick. That's all I can say.
He's huge. He's going off.
He was an absolute huge pick.
Next game is the number 5 Sin Eaters facing the number 6 Hammerheads. Number 6 Hammerheads are the only team to pull off the upset this week, winning 248.08 to 235.68. This was a third lowest win margin of the week at 12.40.
Yeah, and before I get into this, I knew for sure I was done. And I woke up, what was it? It was, oh my gosh, it had to be like 2 in the morning. And I'm like, I haven't even checked. I said, let me just go on and look and see what happened. And I seen the score of the game and seen some of the comments that had been made about how bad of a game it was. And then I was out of my mind excited about I scraped by when he had. I mean, let's say he had Kamara. Kamara could have put up 60 of the 28 points that he needed real easy. So yeah, I got lucky.
Kamara flopped on him this week. Pretty much hurt him.
Yeah.
Did you eat?
Didn't hurt me though. All right. The leading scorers for the Senators.
Mike Evans flopped on him too.
Yeah.
I mean, he had Mike Evans and Kamara going off in that game.
What?
Yeah,
and neither one of them were able to do what he needed. But crazy. That's how it goes sometimes.
On offense for the Senators, Tyler Lockett had 27.80 points. Samaje Perine had 21.50 points. And Josh Jacobs and Greg Zuerlein had 21 points. On defense, Deron Payne had 17.50 points. Desmond King, the second, had 14.20 points. And Josie Jewell had 12 points. For the reigning champion Hammerheads, A.J. Brown had 31.90 points. Geno Smith had 28.98 points. And DK Metcalf had 26.70 points. On the defense, Quentin Williams had 18.50 points. Jaron Kearse had 14 points. And the Packers defense had 10 points. Player of the game.
DK Metcalf.
Oh, DK.
I gave it to DK. I did not look at Yahoo for any game this week for who their player of the game was. I went off what I went off projections and went off who put up the best points over their projections. DK Metcalf slaughtered that in your game with 26.70, which was well over his projection of 14.88.
I didn't get a chance to go that in depth. I was just going off of the scores. And
the Yahoo ones, yeah, I know.
Well, I was kind of more going off of looking at numbers right now. I would have said Quentin Williams.
He did put up 18.50, but he was projected like 9 or 10 points. Here, hold up. Let me see that. I'll go back to that real quick. I did look at Quentin Williams in that game, but I was like, DK had the better of the Quentin Williams was projected to put up 11.19 points, and he put up 18.50 points, whereas DK was only putting up 14.88 in his projections, and he put up that 26, which I was like, that's a 10 over, whereas Quentin Williams is only like 7 over. So that was my method to my madness. I didn't look at any of the Yahoo this week because I knew that you would be doing all the writing down for everything. So I was like, you know what? I'm going to come up with my own damn players of the game. If Ben would have won this game, Greg Zerline won player of the fucking game with 21 points, which was well over his projection of 6.26.
If you got a kicker score 20 points, then that's pretty damn good.
Yeah. So I mean, I actually wrote that down, and then I was like, oh shit, he didn't win. And went and scratched that out and went back over and looked at your team and was like, yeah, DK Metcalf, he put up fucking at least 12 points over what he projected. I mean, almost 12 points. That's 0.70 to 0.88 or whatever, which was that a 18.18 difference of the 12 point. Yeah. Anyway. Huge game for Hammerheads in this one. A much needed win going into this playoff race. These past couple weeks actually were much needed wins.
It's just a do or die. I have to win or I'm out.
I mean, from week 11. Okay, let's see, week 10. Week 10. You lost in week 10. So since week 11, you've won 3 games straight. 11, 12, and 13. Now you're going to the last week, and you need a win this week still, so it's not over yet.
I can win 4 straight. I like that going into the playoffs. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I mean, obviously, nobody's going to beat friggin' Sean's friggin' winning streak Brandon's winning streak. Jesus Christ. Not gonna win Brandon's winning streak, as he is up on the winning streak of he's at 3 right now. So I got the highest win streak right now.
Yeah.
Man, I thought that's right. Brandon lost to Ben 4 weeks ago. 4 weeks ago. So in week 10, when you lost to Jeff, Brandon lost to Ben.
Yeah.
Hello.
I'm on the fucking biggest win streak, and I'm playing Legend Killers this week. What a shame.
You've got to do it, man.
I wish I could, guys, but I just lost Cortland Sutton. After last week's Tyler Boyd performance, I might not even have Deontay Johnson this week.
Oh, lovely.
He didn't practice today, so... And my next person to go in would be James Cook, who did go off last week, but I don't know. Whoa. Okay, we lost our co-host, Pam.
Yeah, she fell out. The computer just quit on her. Yeah.
All right, well, we'll get into that last game of the week, which was the number 7 Hendrix Mafia facing the number 11, the Pigskin King. Hendrix Mafia pulled out the victory, 240.32 to 190.80. This was the highest win margin of the week at 49.52.
All right. So the leading scorers in this game for the Pigskin King, the unavailable Stephon Diggs had 22.20 points. Tua Tagovailoa had 17.80 points. And Damian Pierce had 12.50 points. On the defensive side, Dallas's defense had 22 points. Jack Sanborn had 13 points. And Fred Warner had 12.50 points. For Hendrix Mafia, on offense, Terry McLaurin had 24.50 points. Garrett Wilson had 24.20 points. And Donovan Peoples-Jones had 22.50 points. On the defense, Jalen Pitre had 22.40 points. Jordan had 14.50 points. And Cameron Curl had 13.50 points.
player of the game was none other than Jalen Petrie, who put up 22.40 points, well over his projection of 7.24.
I concur.
Yeah, that was a huge. I mean, I was looking at Garrett and I was like, man, he almost doubled his projection. And then I looked down at Donovan. I was like, he did double his projection, but I looked at Petrie and I was like, he tripled his projection. I'm like, so yeah, let's go with that one.
Sounds like a plan.
And what really sucked for him is he had Bobby Wagner on the bench who put up 29.50 points. Well, it says 29.50, but he had 30 points for the week because that's what the hell it said in the damn top scorers. Why would it say
exactly? I don't know. That didn't make no sense. Why?
It
traded around like that.
All right, we'll get into that section, which was Offensive Player of the Week.
The aforementioned
Jalen Hurts
with 40.40 points. He was the Offensive Player of the Week.
And he was runner-up was Devontae Adams, who put up the 37.70, and Amon-Ra St. Brown, who put up the 34.60.
All right. So our Defensive Player of the Week now is none other than the Bobby Wagner, who
was on the bench.
on the bench for Hendricks Mafia with 30 points.
Yeah. Runner-up for that was Mr. Justin Simmons, who put up 26.30. And there was a couple other ones that were right up there too, but I didn't feel like writing a bunch of damn names down.
Yeah, that's a bunch of extra names.
Coach of the Week, John Creel, only team to beat the higher ranking this week. And you beat the number 12 Crimson Elephants. Come on now, you beat the last place team.
You can't beat the last place team and try to take Player of the Week. Sorry, it doesn't work that way.
Can you blame me for trying?
No, I can't blame you for trying.
No, you can't blame me for trying. But and I looked at highest score. I looked at the Hendricks Mafia, but he was playing the 11th place team. So it was like I can't give you or him credit for beating the bottom two teams. I mean, I can. Congratulations, but I can't give you Coach of the Week credit for beating the bottom two teams.
We'll give you Bullies of the Week. How about that? You beat them.
Yeah, you're the bullies of the week. You and Lindsay are the bullies of the week to continue beating up on the last two teams of the week.
I'll take it. Thank you.
A win's a win, damn it.
All right, Sean.
Yeah, you hear that crap?
You hear that? We need you to come out with a vengeance next year, buddy.
He's already licking his chops about next year because
I know he's got some damn keepers next year that he's happy about.
He should definitely be able to form a pretty formidable team with some of the keepers he's got.
All right, we're getting into the last week, guys, and it's nitty-gritty for every game here except for the first game and the last two. Well, I mean, the last two games there. If Miller can put up 350 and some other shit can happen, he could have a chance. So, I mean,
hey, look, miracles have happened before. Okay,
I mean,
so you never can tell.
Never can tell, man. It's fantasy football. It's a low percentage. I would say it's probably like a 5% chance for Miller and probably about a 7% chance for Jeff. But being said that, it's a much higher percent chance for Lindsay, a much higher percent chance for you, and an even much higher chance for Ben.
Exactly.
Like so.
Ben for pretty much for Ben and myself, it's a win and you're in.
Yeah.
Of course, for Hendricks
Lindsay.
with Lindsay, if he wins, he has to score a lot of points,
and he has to have Ben lose or yourself lose.
Yeah.
I mean, if you win and he wins, he needs to score a bunch of points to overtake
to jump
Ben.
That's right.
But if you lose and he wins and Ben loses, then he's automatically in that sixth spot, even with fifth or sixth spot, still depending on points. If Ben loses, you know what I mean? Like it's close points there.
My stomach just started hurting because I just realized that the team I'm playing against so far this week has Devontae Adams playing right now. That made my stomach hurt. Don't think I like that very much.
Yeah. All right, we'll get into those matchups for Week 14, the final week of the regular season of fantasy football in Thunderdome this year. Legend Killers, number 1 Legend Killers facing the number 2 Dragons myself. So I'm on a 5-game win streak. Brandon is on a 3-game win streak. See who can keep their win streak going moving into the playoffs. This game, if I lose and Chris wins, if I lose and Chris wins, Chris moves into that number 2 spot. If me and Chris both lose, depending on our points, will be who will be in that number 2 spot. So we're still fighting for that number 2 for the bye week.
The bye week. Yeah. So
if
that's all. Well,
Pam's 200 points, almost 200 points back on us. So she would have to put up 200 points plus win while we both lost to move up to that number 2 spot. So there's a battle for that number 2 spot still. Pam would probably have like a 10% chance, where I would probably have like a 55 to his
40.
40.
40% for you, 40% for him, and a 10% for.
Well, no, I'm up on him in points. He has 2,922, where I have 3,069. Yeah. I have the most points forced in the league.
Yes.
Which is, I just now realized that. Wow. That's crazy.
Yeah, that's because everyone that you beat, you've blown them out of the water pretty much.
Wow,
and you didn't lose by whenever you lost, it wasn't by much.
Yeah, that's crazy. So. All right. Well, anyway, get back to what I was talking about. It's a big race going on between that number 2 spot for me and Chris. I hope I win, and I hope Chris loses, so there is no race no more, and I get that number 2 spot because I love that bye week going into the playoffs.
I love you, Chris, but I hope you lose too. So.
Well, and we'll get into that. The number 3 Bucks Life facing the number 6 Hammerheads. Now you know why John hopes he loses. Yes. He's playing him.
I am playing him, and I really need this one.
And if you did not know, John has the 4th highest points forced in the league. He may be in 6th place, but he's got the 4th highest points forced in the league. So
yeah, I don't know. This year has been just absolute chaos for me.
No puns intended on ex-owner Tyler.
No.
Rivera.
Right?
And the chaos.
No, it has been.
That was an accidental pun, is what that was.
Yeah, that was a just straight up dad joke, I guess.
That's another pun, because he is Tyler's dad. So that's what it just keeps coming. That's funny. All right. Well, the next game is the number 4 Angels facing the number 5 Sin Eaters. So another huge game, man. I mean, won't be much of consequences on Pam, but it will be a lot of consequences on Ben if he loses. Especially if Hammerheads and Hendrix Mafia can pull off a victory.
I really need her to win this one.
Well, he beat me last time.
Yeah, I know, but I really need you to win this one.
It was close.
And again, I really need you to win this one.
You gotta win.
Are you
number 7 Hendrix. Number 7 Hendrix Mafia facing the number 8 Orange Crush. So another big game. So
Orange Crush. Orange Crush. Go, Jeff, go.
Number 9 Kush Crushers facing the number 11 the Pigskin King, and the number 10 Thad Castle's team facing the number 12 Crimson Elephants. I think Sean would like to finish this year with a victory.
Probably so, yeah. I mean, I would think he would.
How awesome would it be if he goes into the damn consolation bracket and sweeps and wins that shit?
Right? Go in there and just sweep all.
And I say that because Miller's trying to be the first to win both. And
he
what if
swept
Sean does it? What if Sean
swept it,
comes
he's
in
the
there and
first to have
sweeps it?
both trophies.
And he
that
gets
would
the
be-
first to have both. That would be crazy. Especially with him being the 1-2L team going into like.
I'm trying to win it this year. That'll be me and you. Never.
Yeah, we could.
If Pam wins the championship, yeah, and she has
Wow.
the scenario with the
That would be weird.
opposite bracket.
Yeah, she said she's got her horse's ass trophy.
I'm hoping that Alex Pierce is what we're going to see from the Colts instead of Michael Pittman. I'm sorry. I'm just still salty about her taking him from me in the draft.
I'm sorry, what?
Michael Pittman.
Oh, you'd be okay.
Oh, at the end of the day.
So, I mean, tight races going in.
Oh, I'm glancing up at the game and I'm like, I don't need the Raiders to do anything on offense. I don't have any Raider players, so I don't need them. I need the Rams to play really
You basically want Josh Jacobs to do nothing for Ben, and you want Devontae Adams to do nothing for Chris.
Yes.
Well, I want Josh Jacobs to do something because I have him in other leagues, and I need that. So leave me alone with that Josh Jacobs. He's not the one you're playing against. You're playing against Devontae, so you got to suck that shit up, all right?
Wait. I've got Devontae in our other league.
Oh, yeah, you do. So
I'm kind of like, I don't mind if he.
I have Jacobs in the other leagues.
I don't need him putting up 30. I'll settle for 10, 15, something like that.
Matter of fact, I'm going to switch over to that league real quick.
I'm not greedy. I'll just, 10 or 15.
It's a tight race in that one too, John. You might not want that to happen because you're 8-5. If the other 7-6 teams right behind you.
Yeah. Oh, I know. I started off.
Oh, never mind. You're in it. You're in it to win it.
I started off strong, and then all of a sudden started on a losing streak.
There's like a 5-team race in that one between 5th place and 9th place.
Yeah. Well, once again, love you, Chris, but this is not.
Who are you playing in that league?
This is not Titletown show. This is Thunderdome Fantasy.
Oh, those matchups are crazy.
We're gonna have to start doing a show for Titletown now.
I might. Fuck you, Chris. Give me permission, man. I'll create the damn page. Give it a go. We'll do this. I'll figure this shit out. I'll figure a time to do it, man. I mean, I can't say that I'm not happy with trading away Devontae in that league, but I've got fucking so many good players in that league that.
You know what I don't understand? As I'm sitting here watching Josh Jacobs score a touchdown. I mean, I understand.
I'm number 1 in that league. I just realized that. I didn't know I was number 1 in Chris's league, bro. So fucking like,
so
yeah.
Check this out. I understand the Rams lost Stafford, lost Cooper Kupp. I mean, they were kind of real sketchy.
Allen Robinson's injured too. He's on IR.
Well, their offense was sketchy at the beginning of the year anyway.
Yep.
But now they lost all them. I can understand that, but what the hell is wrong with the defense that they can't keep them from scoring?
I've been wondering that all year. The Rams defense
understand.
has not been the defense that they've been in the past couple of years. Their defense has definitely been.
I don't get it.
I mean, 3-9. Come on, you just won the Super Bowl. This is like the hammerheads of the NFL. I mean, oh my God, am I missing comments? No, I'm not. Okay, cool.
Wait a second. That's not true because if you see their record is much worse than mine.
You're 6 in fantasy. You're in it because there's only 12 teams. If there was 32 teams, you might not be in the race.
That's true. But guess what?
All I meant by it is if they lose this game, if they lose this game, they're out of the playoffs. But if they win out, they have a chance at playoffs still. So they're kind of the hammerheads of the NFL right now. They still have a chance,
Okay,
John.
all right, I'll give you that.
Even with that 3-9 record, they still have a slight chance.
I'll give
But
you that.
if they lose this game, their chances out. That's what they were saying before the game, anyway. So I would already count them out at 3-9, but they got more weeks than we do in fantasy because we don't play playoffs, and because not every team plays in the playoffs. Therefore, how can the hell could we pull that off?
Yeah, we would. I don't even know. We would.
We can't. We'd have to redraft with everybody that's in the fucking playoffs. Like, no.
Our points would be real low.
That would be fucking horrible.
I beat him 49-70.
Let me hide these damn jelly beans. I keep looking at them.
You've got a problem, sir.
They're good, man. Speaking of food, I gotta get off here and get some. It's been real. It's been fun. It's been really fun.
Exactly. Well, we're going to move on to food time now.
Yeah, exactly. And we'll see you guys next Thursday for the Week 14 finale of the Thunderdome Fantasy regular season. And we'll move into the Thunderdome Fantasy playoffs. Everyone battling for the Thunder Bowl.
Playoffs?
Or the Josh Bowl. Playoffs?
Playoffs? I may be saying that. Playoffs?
You have a chance still. What the hell? I did not hit the mute button. I picked up my pen and turned off the mute somehow. Anyway, we'll see you guys next Thursday for the next Thunderdome Fantasy Weekly with the Week 14 results, Week 15 playoff matchups, and the Josh Bowl matchups as well. It's been fun, guys. See you next week.
Yeah.
Peace.